do a reading from the Verdance Tarot. This is the Verdant Companion, the companion book to the deck. I have been, over the last couple of days, enjoying this companion. The price of the deck is worth this book alone, in my opinion. I think that anything that has Benebell Wynn's name on it is going to be worth more than the price we pay for it. I am a huge fan, and obviously we all know the beauty of these two ladies together. It's powerful. So today I'm going to do a reading. I did suggest for people to leave comments and suggested readings so I can do card pulls so that we can get to know this deck a little bit better. One of my new subscribers, thank you Ms. Maxie S for subscribing, asked for a reading on new beginnings. So if we go to the back here, we'll take a look at some of the spreads that have been included, and there are 3 beautiful spreads included in this deck. So here we're told that the set of spreads has been designed specifically for the Verdance Tarot. There's 3 spreads. The first one is called the Inner Garden, and the Inner Garden inspires a growth mindset and it helps you scan for new opportunities. I think that's perfect for today's topic, which is new beginnings, but just so that you can get to know the information in the book. There's also See the Forest for the trees spread, and that one helps you to gain clarity and perspective. And then the last one is the Sacred Grove, which is a versatile layout, and you can use it for either answering a specific question or for a general reading. Now, I did have another subscriber request for another reading that I think would be perfect for the Sacred Grove. So stay tuned for that video. If you're watching, I believe her name was Do the Math. Just keep watching. I will come back and do that one. So for today's reading, I think I'm going to do the Inner Garden. So I'm going to go read through it so that you can get an idea. So for the Inner Garden, we're going to obviously shuffle and cut the deck, but she advises here that while we shuffle and cut the deck, we should be envisioning a verdant garden. There is a patch of fertile soil ready for seeds to be sowed, and the garden beds are in full bloom. You can sense the healthy roots beneath the ground and see the display of colorful blossoms. Fan the deck across your table and select 3 cards face down. As you select these 3 cards, say to yourself, "These are the seeds. This is what germinates." Set the 3 cards into one pile. Here is the image of the spread. So the one that I just read would be the seeds. And so this is what germinates, what's currently germinating in your life. The card you choose for this position reveals the current emotional and psychological state. Then the second set is going to be the roots and the bloom. So let's read through about those down here. Select another 3 cards. As you do so, say to yourself, "These are the roots. These are my inner resources." Set the 3 cards into a second pile. Finally, select another 3 cards and say, as you do, say to yourself, "These are the blossoms. Such is my potential for growth." From these 3 cards let me go back here. From the 3 cards for the seeds, which are face down before you, choose one and turn the card over. This is what is currently germinating in your life, representative of your present state. From the 3 face down cards for the roots, choose one and turn it over. This card reveals your core strengths and what inner resources and powers to draw upon to get you to ascend higher. From the 3 face down cards for the blossom, choose one and turn that over. This card forecasts what is about to flourish. This is how you will grow and transform in the near future. Now, we selected 9 cards, but we've only turned over 3. The remaining 2 cards of each of the piles represent possibilities. You may choose to ignore them altogether, focusing just on the one you selected, or you may choose to turn them over and take a peek at those opportunities. If you turn them over and prefer one of those possibilities, set your intention towards that possibility becoming a reality, and in a deliberate way, replace the card you had turned over with this preferred possibility. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and start this process. I'm going to pause the camera while I set the intention and shuffle the cards, and then I'll come back, do the selection here, and then process the reading on camera. So I'll be right back. I hadn't shuffled the deck on camera yet, so I wanted to kind of do that. I know it always helps me to see someone else, to see how the deck shuffles for other people on camera. So this is Llewellyn cardstock, although it's a little bit different. It's matte, but it's still Llewellyn. I know a lot of people don't like Llewellyn cardstock. I have always loved it. I love the size of the cards. All right, that's better for a riffle shuffle there. So it shuffles just fine. Yeah, that's a really nice shuffle. Nice slide overhand shuffle. All right, so I'm going to set the intention for the reading now, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. So I have followed the instructions in the guidebook. I really took my time and envisioned the intention that was given here. I think that that is such a beautiful touch. So now we're going to do this part here where we select the cards. So the cards that we're going to be selecting, these are the seeds. This is what germinates. These are the seeds for Maxie S's new beginning. This is what germinates. Okay, we're going to set those aside. These are the seeds. This is what germinates. Okay. These are the roots. These are your inner resources. These are the roots. These are your inner resources. These are the roots. These are your inner resources. These are the roots. These are your inner resources. These are the roots. These are your inner resources. These are the blooms. Such is your potential for growth. These are the blooms. Such is your potential for growth. These are the blooms. Such is your potential for growth. All right. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to turn one of the 3 cards over. So I'm going to turn over, I'm not going to read reversals on this reading. So for the seeds, we have the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Cups. This is a beautiful 6 of Cups. You see the dragonflies. This is what is currently germinating in your life. The card that is chosen for this position reveals your current emotional and psychological state. That's a beautiful card. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Second, this pile, these are the roots. These are the inner resources. So this is what grounds and nourishes you. This shows your strengths and available support system. This shows your strengths and available support system. I didn't shuffle in reversals. I think I may have flipped the deck upside down entirely, but I didn't shuffle for reversals for these readings. So we're looking at Seven of Swords here. So let's take a closer look. The Seven of Swords. So we'll take a look at the Seven of Swords for the roots. And the last one was these are the blossoms. Such is your potential for growth. These are the blossoms, your potential for growth. So this is what is, we got the Page of Swords, and this is what is ready to flourish. The card you choose for this position indicates your immediate potential for growth and transformation. That's wonderful for the Page of Swords. All right, so let's take a look at the next set of instructions. Make sure we don't miss anything, because I'm not going to just assume with Benebell and Stephanie that they haven't put some information in here. After you've confirmed the 3 cards to operate with, note the associated archetypes and the keywords. For example, if the 5 of coins is drawn for the seeds, the current archetype being embodied is exiled, one facing hardship, alienation, and the need to hear messages on perseverance through difficult times. If the Queen of Cups comes up for the roots, the current inner attributes of intuition, compassion, sensitivity, and authenticity are the core assets for overcoming exile and hardship. I love this. Okay, so we're going to take a look. So it says the remaining 2 cards of each pile represent possibilities. You may choose to ignore them altogether, focusing on just the one you selected, or you may choose to turn them over and take a peek. I think right now I'm going to choose not to turn them over and take a peek, and we're going to take a look at the guidebook for each of these so that we can get to know the deck a little bit, and then we'll take a look at the other cards that come after. So let's start with the seed, which was the 6 of Cups. So let's take a look here. Let's go to the Cups suit. Oops, and the deck. Now the guidebook has full images, absolutely gorgeous, which is wonderful for Stephanie's artwork. It's so detailed. And so here we've got the 6 of Cups, which is the nostalgic. And remember, we're looking at the seeds here, what's germinating. So it says we have some keywords here: childhood, openness, security, comfort of the familiar, lessons, and strength from the past. The past can be a comfort. Embrace its lessons, then step free from those old ties and be unafraid of what the future brings. Use the naive happiness of childhood to glean lessons and strength, and then move forward with that motivation. Memories can be a tool for healing. Reconnecting with the past can provide the keys for how to move forward with grace. Oh, wow. Then Stephanie and Benebell include a description. He skips with abandon, flying with all the speed that lithe and gangly limbs can summon. He saw a shooting star at the dawn. In the pre-dawn light, he slips out to follow its path. He finds where it landed. It is not inert iron and stone, but a pool of liquid light. Wow. This is beautiful. Okay. All right, so Um, I'll continue reading it for the rest of you guys. Where is it? He finds where it landed. It is not inert iron and stone, but a pool of liquid light that still whirls and twinkles when he approaches. He gathers a bit of the glowing stardust, tucks it away, and by that light begins to make his way back home. Wow. Is that in the image? That's him here in the image. Oh, I see. Okay. I'm sorry, I am taken by the image. I'm going back and forth here. I'm going to process this off camera. Okay, and I'm back. So, wow. I just read the entries for all three of these. I'm going to share them with you, but I have to say that I am so impressed with the way this book is written, with the entries and the descriptions that are given. So let's go back to the spread. So remember, the spread first position is the seeds, what's germinating, and we got I'm not going to show you the card because we have a large picture here of the Six of Swords. The Six of Cups. And wow, when I was trying to read this earlier, I was so captivated by the images and by what was happening. So you do get a blurb or a definition about what the card is. So the past can be a comfort. And I think in this case, so we're looking at new beginnings for Max CS. And so if we're starting something new and we're looking at the seeds, this is what it's built on. And in your life, there have been times where you, either in your childhood or other times where you have experienced the joy of what it should be like to be a child, whether that happens in your childhood or as an adult time. Anytime where we are experiencing that joy, that openness, that playfulness. Here it says a sense of security and comfort for the familiar. So those lessons of the past, that's what is the soil in which your seeds are germinating in. And so that's the love and the energy that you're going to. For tomorrow in Hollywood. Look for some sun and thunderstorms with a high. By the way, sorry about that. I got interrupted. That is what's being germinated. It's all of the lessons that you learned in the past, everything that you learned in the past. It is time for you to let that grow and bloom into something new. So we're not starting here from scratch. You're taking all of the best parts of the experiences that you've had in your life till this point, of the lessons that you have learned, and that is what is going to build the solid foundation. That is the seed that is happening. Now, that's how I see it as far as the position in the spread. But let's look at the deck and how beautiful this is. So at first, when I was reading it, I didn't see the young boy. I was so caught up with the details, but that's who is skipping. So it says here that he skips with abandon, flying. I can't see well. Flying with all the speed that lithe and gangly limbs can summon. So that's very childlike, right? He's just running, but when he's running because he saw a shooting star at the dawn, and now he's slipping out to follow the path, and he found where it was landed. So I was looking to see if they showed the stardust or like where the star landed, and I was a little distracted here because I think that this might be what this is here. I'm not totally sure, but you kind of see it throughout the image, a little bit of like, I think that's the stardust there. Oh, it's so gorgeous. And then it says that it is not inert iron and stone, but a pool of liquid light that whirls and twinkles when he approaches. So I think that's what that was. He takes a little bit of that stardust and he puts it away. And that light is what gets him back home. He follows that light home. The stardust that it illuminates the world around him, and then the animals are attracted and they go with him. So he's playing on his way home, jumping with frogs across lily pads. That's so beautiful. It says here that he dances with dragonflies, marvels at the distant castles, wavering in the sea star strewn basin of the water. It's gorgeous. This is so beautiful. And it definitely exemplifies the meaning of the card. So there's so much coherence in the guidebook, in the images. That's what we want from these decks. That's absolutely gorgeous. All right, so that was the seed. The next position in the spread is the roots. And so the roots are your inner resources, and it is what grounds and nourishes you. This card shows your strengths and available support systems. So we're going to go with that, the strengths and available support systems for the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords in RWS sometimes can be a difficult card for me. It has been, and for many people. And when you look at the Seven of Swords numerologically, you're looking at more of like intellectual, the wittiness, the strategy, the planning part. So that's where I'm going here with this one. So if you look at the Seven of Swords here, we're talking about the typical, the trickster is the key word, and then we have sabotage, deceit, cunning, strategy, bending the rules, intellectual approach to problems. So I would think that the inner resources here for you are based on your intellect. If this is a new beginning, new beginnings can be full of insecurity, they can be full of uncertainty, and they are a delicate time. I thought that that was interesting with the eggs, with the delicacy of, birthing something, of having to care for something that's incubating. And so I feel like in your question of new beginnings, if something is beginning anew, we need to be careful with it. And that includes making sure that we are being strategic and, thinking about what is needed here. So I really like the description. I'll read it. It says the Seven of Swords is about deception, trickery, and cheating to get your way. There might be some morally ambiguous use of creativity in schemes and manipulations. I'll say something about that later. But it is also strategic use of wits and rational resourcefulness to work. So rational resourcefulness, that's what I'm talking about. When you're in a new beginning, that you need to have your wits about you. You need to think quickly. Sometimes you're, because it is a new beginning, you're encountering new things and new decisions, and we sometimes need to make quick decisions. And that inner resourcefulness, there's that inner support, that inner resources. It is your mental and rational resources. How witty are you? And so that's what's important. So the rational resources to work your way through a situation. This is one who bends the rules to navigate difficult situations, who uses misdirection to achieve their goals. The trickster archetype operates outside societal norms, is independent, and is adept in navigating the most complex and difficult of situations. That's wonderful. What really got me was the description of the card. My God, this is... Okay, so it says, Cuckoo is a clever bird. She sits atop a sword and laughs. Mother Warbler has left her nest briefly to seek food. In her absence, Cuckoo has swooped in and swiftly laid an egg of her own in the nest. In the days that follow, the eggs hatch, and one of these is not like the others. What strangeness is this, wonders Warbler. But she does not question beyond that why one chick is odd. For it is healthy and strong and so hungry, the adopted mother does not realize what has happened, and she spends her energy feeding the voracious young impersonator to the detriment of the rest of her brood. And off Cuckoo flies, satisfied and merry, to continue on her way to another unattended nest in which to repeat her ploy. This is excellent. In which to repeat her ploy. For she tells herself that she only does what nature has demanded of her. She has found a solution to accomplish that which she lacks in herself to provide. Wow. And is that not the best for everyone? I mean, this is incredible. There's so much to process there, about our insecurities, our resources, and our lack of resources. The fact that we are all imperfectly perfect, and it's very, very interesting. So that is what I think that this card will also stay for the second position of um, the inner resources, the roots. Those are good roots. All right, the last position was the Page of Swords. And so the Page of Swords, we have intellectual exploration, communication, innovation, curiosity about new ideas, and a thirst for knowledge. And the Page of Swords is about intellectual exploration. Here, they're saying that he's the harbinger for forays in the intellectual realm. He welcomes puzzles and challenges. And so these challenges is what I'm talking about for new beginnings, which goes back to the Seven of Swords of needing that quick-wittedness, right? That Seven of Swords and the Page of Swords are really, that energy is really working together. And it's full of saying that he's quick-witted, full of energy, curious and inquisitive, full of exuberance for life. And then